Hey tankers, and welcome back to World of Tanks with Hachiman. I owe you guys a sincere apology for the channel being dead for 3 weeks. Unfortunately, there was nothing I could do. Most of you know World of Tanks did some sort of mini patch, and after doing that mini patch, replays stopped working. So I had tons of replays people had sent me, replays of my own that I just couldn't wait to put on YouTube, and I couldn't do any of them, and nothing I could do made them work. It's a common, widespread problem. Now that 9.10 is here, replays are working again. Unfortunately, all the old ones are lost to time. But it is what it is. Okay. So, moving on. 9.10. I could talk about the Japanese heavies, but frankly, who cares? It's just more heavy tanks. And I will talk about them in the future. I want to introduce you to my newest friend, the 59 Patton. Now, this is not entirely a bullshit made-up tank, though it is partially. So a couple of these did exist. They were Chinese prototypes. They were trying to solve some of their problems with American technology, and that's what this tank represents. This is supposed to be the melding of a Type 59 and an M48 Patton. Or excuse me, an M46 Patton. Same difference, really. But anyway, actually, M48, if you look at the machine gun port up top. So, shall we say a historical M48 Patton, which came with a 90mm gun. Only a very small couple of them had 105s. Let's talk about the stats on this tank for a minute. And I'm sorry, I really would love to show you the first game I played in the machine, because it was a Tier 9 game on El Haluf, and I did 2,000 damage. And in my second game in it, I was on Fjords and did 2,000 damage in a Tier 10 game. Unfortunately, that was before 9.10. Alright, so, first things first. Armor profile. This has the hull of a Type 59. So it has 100mm of frontal hull armor. But if you know the Type 59, you know that it is sloped like you wouldn't believe. It's got a heck of an angle on it, which actually means it actually functions for around 170mm. Also, the lower plate, while less, is not a big target, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. Everyone knows to kill a Type 59, get the side or the lower plate. Not as easy in this tank. I'll tell you why in a bit. Side hull is 80mm, and it's typical side hull armor for a medium tank. It won't stop much, but I do find that this machine tends to eat shots with its tracks a lot, just like the Type 59 does. Rear hull, 50. Don't get hit in the rear. Turret, 177mm front, 76 side, 50 rear. So the side and rear of the turret's not blocking much of anything. But 177 front. Now let's talk about that. The M48 Patton has 177 in the frontal turret, and you will find that it never blocks anything. Well, that's because it's a Tier 10 tank, and you're going up against, you guessed it, Tier 10 tanks with Tier 10 tank guns. 177mm of armor with the rolled sloping design of this M48 turret is substantial. In my first game, I bounced a shot from a Ferdinand right off the front of the turret. It just bounced him right off. He fired again, and I was backing up and turning at that moment, and he hit my frontal hull at this angle, and again, it bounced right off. Because that frontal hull is good armor if it's head-on, but at that angle, it's outrageous. It's 240, 250mm. So, this has a much better armor performance than, say, the M26 Pershing. Okay? Talk about speed and mobility for a minute. 50 kph top speed. This is expected. You will hit 50 on flat paved ground. You will hit 50 on flat packed terrain, like say on El Haluf. 46-degree traverse speed, so it's faster than, say, the American M26 Pershing, and it's got a better traverse speed. This truly does have Type 59 mobility. Now, shoring up the weakness of the Type 59, the biggest problem Type 59 has is the problem all Chinese and Soviet tanks have, and that is no gun depression. Anyone who's played a T-34-1, a Type 58, a T-34-2, a T-34-3, and a Type 59 all knows that they have supposedly 5 degrees of gun depression usually, but it feels like 2. You can't hit anything that's below you unless your hull is pointed downwards, which exposes the lower plate, making you very easy to hurt. This has American gun depression with 10 degrees of gun depression. With a sloped frontal hull like that, you can do the standard American move, sitting on the backside of a hill, sticking your gun over and shooting at guys, increasing the angle of that frontal plate an extra 30 degrees, making it almost impenetrable, okay, and hiding the lower plate. This makes this tank playable in such a wide degree of ways. You've got mobility, unlike that's above the average medium tank, but like Soviet and Chinese mediums that have more mobility than an M26 Pershing don't get the gun depression advantage. So you can sit on the backside of a hill and snipe. You can do the pop up to the close to the top of the hill, shoot and back down type game. Then when it's time to get in close and brawl and wolfpack the enemy down, you can do it that way too. It's such a flexible machine. Let's talk about the gun, okay? Because everyone wants to talk about the gun. Tier 8 90mm M41 gun. Well, let's look at something, shall we? Let's look at the USA. Tier 8 medium tank, the Pershing. Well, it's not exactly identical, but it's very close. You give up 7 millimeters of penetration. Okay? That is nothing you're going to lose sleep over. The 90 millimeter gun on the Pershing is perfectly capable, and so is this. On premium ammo, you get 250 millimeters of pen, which is only low if you're shooting at the front of Tier 9 and 10 heavies. If you're shooting at the front of Tier 9 and 10 heavies with this tank, you are doing it wrong. Okay, 240 damage. I mean, it's a 90 millimeter gun, so 240 damage, 320 on HE. The dispersion is 0.38, and the aim time is 2.5. But it doesn't feel like 0.38 dispersion. It doesn't feel like 2.5 second aim time. It feels much more accurate, and I can't explain it any other way than that. You'll notice when you play, the gun feels accurate. The rate of fire is a beautiful thing. It's showing a 7.89 rate of fire. Let me get back to our machine here. My loader, where is he? There he is 94% base. So he's not even 100%. I'm firing every 6.59 seconds. So I basically have the pen of a Pershing's gun with just as good accuracy and a faster reload time. You should be sub 6.5 with a 100% loader vents with a rammer. 6.5 second reload time is nothing to complain about on a 90 millimeter gun. That's very good. It's going to give you an excellent DPM. 1400 hit points, pretty average for Tier 8 medium tank. Maybe a little on the light side, but nothing you're going to notice. For special equipment, I highly recommend the rammer, the vents, and the vertical stabilizer. You don't need the gun laying drive. The gun is very accurate, and if you stop for just a moment, you'll get a good shot. Coated optics, possibly, but I really think this is the way to go. Accuracy on the move with the stabilizer, rammer, and vents to give you just a total boost to all skills. I can't wait to get you guys some gameplay videos. It's such a fun tank to play, and hey, it's $55, but it really isn't. 30 days premium time, 2,500 additional gold. You're actually paying about $25 for the tank, and then you're getting a package on the side. Like the video, subscribe for more. You guys will see some gameplay coming up in the very near future. Thanks, guys. See ya.